Wow.
So
That is
people are buying and selling.
Yeah, that is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. I know. That's the first time I've said it.
Congratulations. That's great. Hey everyone, this is Carey Archer-Howell with Keller Williams, and you are with Lux Living in Las Vegas podcast with Carey. Today I have Natalie Bradley here with me, my favorite title rep from Fidelity National Title. We're going to talk a little bit about title and what's the difference between title and escrow. It's a little confusing, and we're here to clear up any kind of questions you may have about that. So welcome, Natalie.
Thank you so much, Miss Carey. I'm so happy to be here and sharing all of this amazing knowledge with all you folks. So thanks for having me.
So real estate, I always feel like is a little bit of a mystery to people. So we try to make it a little bit easier for everyone to understand, and just let you know that it's a lot easier to buy a house than most people think. So sharing knowledge and information for everybody out there, because everybody deserves to be a homeowner.
100%. I agree.
So we're going to get into Natalie and see what we're covering today is leadership, trust, and the human side of title. So about Natalie, we are for anyone meeting you for the first time, how would you describe what you do?
Oh, great question. I like that. So it does get a little bit confusing on the title and escrow side. I am the sales force in the field, also known as an account executive or a marketing rep or a title rep. So we have many different names over the years. And in a nutshell, I like to sit down with agents, new agents, seasoned, wherever you are in your business, and kind of helping connect the dots, seeing where you might have some loopholes that we can process, some platforms and systems to help you, generate more leads, make more conversions, wherever your pain points are. That is my job. I also like to provide a ton of data. So if you're looking for mailing addresses, farms, phones, emails, things like that, I have access to a lot of data, which is helpful for a real estate agent when communicating with homeowners and seeing if properties are available for sale and all the things, if they have any liens on them, judgments, that sort of stuff. So definitely a good meeting, and I would encourage everyone to meet with their favorite title partner.
Agreed. Yes. Especially every agent out there should have a title partner. Natalie is awesome. She will help you find leads and help you with farms in whatever neighborhoods you're looking for. Since it's May, what does this season represent for you personally and professionally?
Okay. I like that. So we're in kind of a unique time, as you know, Carey. It's selling season. It's spring fling's over. Kids are getting out of school. Graduations are happening, and we're on the hunt for a new home. Possibly your needs have changed. Maybe a new baby, maybe an empty nester. You never know what the circumstances are. So typically, May kicks the ball downfield, and we get really, really busy. Lately, there's been a little bit of a slowdown with over inventory, and the rates are a little bit higher, but we have so many ways to overcome that and still put people in homes, and with seller credits and things like that, which you can probably speak more about. But I'm having record months. I have to say, it's kind of wild. I've been in this for 33 years, and April was my highest revenue generating month of my career.
Wow.
So people are buying and selling.
Yeah, that is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. I know. That's the first time I've said it.
Congratulations. That's great. Yeah, it is kind of a weird season right now. There's a lot of things going on with our country. There's inflation is really high, but amazingly, there is a lot of activity in real estate. personally, just this last weekend, put in an offer for a client of mine and got beat out by 3 other buyers.
Oh.
So that does tell you that people, even though the interest rates are high, they are not buying, and people are not selling. It really just comes down to strategically pricing and staging, of course.
Absolutely.
So there's never a season for people not to buy
Agree.
or sell.
Agree.
There's always a reason for movement in real estate. So to be scared is natural, but the more you talk to your professionals, the more at ease you will be.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And for agents that are out there, this is kind of a tough season for us, but you just have to pivot and switch a little bit, maybe make a little more phone calls and ask Natalie to send you more lists
Absolutely.
of different neighborhoods.
And even just to get together and brainstorm, like, what are you currently doing? And let me help you maybe get some new ideas. And there's constantly new things out there to help you. We're all using AI to help us in our business.
Yeah.
But it's not going to replace us humans, but it's going to make us even better.
Right.
So sitting down, I sat down with a seasoned agent, been in the business for 15 years.
Yeah.
And they've kind of just hit a roadblock. And what they've been doing is no longer working. So we're talking about what pillar can we layer into what they're already doing that might generate some more activity for them. So there's always new things to do. And maybe you've never door knocked, or maybe you've never cold called, but there's,
something new.
Try it. You might like it.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And honestly, in this business, you'll, trying to do it on your own I just don't recommend you do it on your own.
No, build your team. Get all your people in place.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Work smarter, not harder, right?
Exactly. And don't recreate the wheel. The wheel is already there.
Yeah.
You just have to find.
Get on and ride.
Yeah, you got to find. So from your side of the closing table, what are you noticing? Well, we kind of just went over this, but besides buyers and sellers and actually movement and activity, are you noticing anything else in the Las Vegas real estate market right now?
Absolutely. One of the, it's been a real issue is solar.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to touch on that at all. I'll kind of just give a little of what I've seen. A lot of these solar contracts are not assumable or assignable without paying down to a certain dollar amount or paying a large fee. So we're seeing more and more of that. We've got some solar companies that have gone bankrupt. So kind of trying to track down where to make the payment or where to get that transfer has been difficult. We have had a few situations, people that bought in 2003 to 23 to 25, they're just not quite sitting on enough equity. And if they wrap solar on top of it, here we are just 2 short years later, and they're, they're in a pickle. So solar has been a little bit of an issue.
That's interesting. So in the contracts, it's written that a certain amount has to be paid down before you can transfer it to.
In certain situations, yes, we have seen that recently. That was new for us. It's not going to be in every contract, but people are they're not reading the contract. They knock on the door, they get all excited. They're not going to have a power bill or a very reduced power bill. They sign up, it goes on, it's no big deal. Then they go to sell the house, and that's when the issues kind of come about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's news for me.
Read the contract.
So now I'm going to be paying really close attention to the solar because I didn't know that.
Well, and also we had one where it was only able to be transferred one time. And we're on the second sale, and that cannot be transferred to another buyer.
Wow.
So there's all these little hidden things in those contracts. So just make sure you're reading your solar contracts entirely. They could put a damper on you when you go to sell your house as far as transferring that, unless you want to have to pay it off.
Wow. That's great information. I mean, I didn't even know that. So that's a lot of information for me, because now, not that I try to deter people from solar, but there are so many roadblocks with solar.
Really, absolutely. I mean, unless they're bought and paid for, and anytime they're leased or we're having to transfer it, I'm seeing just more and more little situations pop up. So just be aware.
Be aware of the solar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Solar.
And so another question about that, what should agents be communicating better to their clients right now?
Great one. Absolutely, that would be one of them. If you do have solar, let's get the contract out. Let's take a peek at it. The sellers typically need to make a phone call and advise the company that's servicing that UCC or solar service on their property, making sure it's assumable or transferable or what we need to do to get that to happen. Just communication with your clients in general. We are really great at Fidelity. We do, as soon as the escrow is open, we have a system that automatically is going to send out a notice letting everybody know the escrow's been opened, the prelim's been started, all the things. So we like to give you a little roadmap. But sometimes I think it's great if the agent just communicates with the client, like, hey, Fidelity is amazing. They're going to be sending you these emails. It will seem like a little, a bit much, but each one of them has a reason for it, letting you know that where we're at with your file.
Right.
And then just communication. That's really what it boils down to. Letting them know when they're going to get an email or a phone call, and just building trust with all the fraud and wire fraud and everything going on. The more they know we're a neutral party here to help them close the transaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that is true. I mean, there cannot be enough communication through the transaction.
100%.
I mean, the more you communicate, I would rather be a little more annoying in the
absolutely
in the communication than to have a client say, okay, I had no idea. I was totally lost through the whole thing.
Right.
I'd rather have someone say, okay, you don't have to call me every
every
day, but at least you know what's happening, so that way you feel supported through the whole thing. So
absolutely.
Speaking of title and education and communication, I do notice that a lot of clients, well, just, in general, since they're not in our industry, they don't know what the difference between what a title company does or what escrow is, or is it the same thing? We're talking about title company education. We just touched on communicating, but I've noticed with clients, they don't know the difference between what a title company does, what escrow does. And while we're going through the transaction, a lot of times there isn't a lot of explanation about what so maybe you can explain to us what a title company actually does.
Absolutely, I can do that. So the title company is a neutral third party. We are contracted to perform the title and the escrow here in Las Vegas. We do both at Fidelity National Title. Once we have a fully executed purchase contract, and it's sent over to us, then the open order goes to the title department to get the prelim rolling, and the rest of it goes to our processing department to get all the demands ordered and the escrow started.
Okay, so explain that for someone who, that may sound like a foreign language.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe break it down in maybe the easiest terms possible.
Okay. Absolutely. So I have referred to the title department is going to prepare the prelim. So what is a prelim? The preliminary title report is all of the information compiled up from the date that the dirt was first sold by the U.S. government, also known as the patent. So we go all the way back and we look at every single transfer, every mortgage, every lien, every payoff, everything that happened. And we make sure everything was done correctly. And what does that mean? If somewhere along the way, husband and wife owned the property and then only husband sold the property, we have to know where wife was. Was it a deceased situation? Was it a divorce situation? Where did the wife go? She has an interest in the property. So that is basically what we're doing as we compile all the data and put the prelim together. And then we send that off to all parties involved, buyer, seller, agents, and lender, letting them know, here is the roadmap to the finish line. It lets them know the taxes, the HOA, the utilities, any liens, judgments, mortgages, all the easements. Anything that we find, we put on there, and then there's a requirement page. The requirement page will be, we need to hit all of these items to issue a full title policy at the tail end, which is what every buyer would want. And then going back to the escrow, your escrow officer, typically she runs her desk or her unit and she runs the transaction. Certain other people will work on your file as far as ordering demands or making phone calls, communicating to your lender, things like that. But overall, your escrow officer is your main point of contact, and they are the ones that are going to order the demands, send you the wiring instructions, prepare all the documents for closing, have you come into their home to their office or come to your home, whichever one is needed for the notary. Once we get everything back, if there's a loan involved, we package up the funding package for the lender to look at and fund the loan. If it's an all cash transaction, we load it up for e-recording and we record it through Simplifile, which is a service that we subscribe to do electronic recording through Clark County Recorder.
Okay.
Then it's a phone call to the agents letting you know, congratulations, we're recorded. Agents typically handle the keys and
we're
home free.
Clear to close.
Close.
Title has switched hands.
Yes.
So there's another thing about title insurance. Why is title insurance important, and why should buyers care about title insurance?
Great question. So title insurance is probably the most important insurance that you will hold in your lifetime. Why? Because it's protecting your largest asset in most cases. And the title insurance is going to guarantee you that we've done all of our homework. We've cleared all the back. There's no liens. There's no judgments. There's no surprises. And the beauty of it is, if there are any, we're human. Sometimes there's errors or, computer errors, things like that. You file a claim and we pay a title claim. And if you don't have title insurance, you're on your own with that. So you really want a team behind you to support you with that.
So could you lose, without insurance, could you lose the title to your home?
It would require a court action to gain your property if there is any interest out there that was missed.
Okay.
So I gave the example of the husband and wife, and then the wife's interest wasn't addressed.
Right.
Let's say that she's still with us and she's just didn't sign the deed. Perhaps they are divorced. Maybe there was a decree that we needed to look at and see how much she was to receive during that sale. Right. So it just gets real, it can become a very big issue.
Right.
And that would be the buyer's responsibility without title insurance to combat that. So they'd have to hire a team of attorneys and backtrack to find the spouse. And so
big old mess.
With title insurance, we have a big team, legal counsel that we refer to and that handles all that for you. So it's part of your protection.
Big mess. So super important. Yeah. So that would be a mess.
That would be a mess. And you know what, Carey, let me bring up one other thing that we just rolled out late April. Fidelity has Monitor in here.
Okay.
And every file that closed after April 17th is automatically enrolled. And it's very similar to title lock or title security.
Okay.
So we're going to monitor your title, making sure nothing has been recorded, a surprise deed, a surprise lien, something like that, without your knowledge. So you'll be getting push notifications from our emails saying, hi, Carey, did you know that you had a lien with Republic Service? Something along those lines. And maybe you didn't know. Maybe you've never received a trash bill since you purchased that home. So it's just a great way to keep you up to date on what's going on with your title.
Okay.
And then further, we are linked with our MLS. So we can scrub daily and let clients know, like, hey, Carey, your house just listed yesterday on the market?
Yeah.
Just things like that. Because there is some fraudulent situations that go on, and mostly with vacant land where the owner's out of state, property might have got put on the market. They didn't intend to list their property, sell it. So we've seen it. So we always just try to cover the bases for everybody. And our number one is to protect the consumer.
So this carries on after the house is closed.
Absolutely.
So this, what was it called? The new
it's
program?
called Monitor in here.
Okay.
And every buyer that closes after April 17th will automatically be enrolled. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything as their realtor partner. It's all automatically done and they're protected. It's a great, great tool that is a Fidelity National Financial product. So all of our sister companies will have it as well.
Awesome. And sister companies are?
So Fidelity National Financial is our parent company. And locally, we have Fidelity National Title, Ticor Title, Lawyers Title, and Chicago Title.
Awesome.
And we all just friendly compete in the field.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome too. So that's So I work a lot of notices of default,
Mm.
and it's amazing because a lot of clients that I come across,
Mm-hmm.
they have no idea that there's liens filed against their home, whether it's a HOA or a public service or landscaping. I mean, most people would never think that, but landscapers have and will put liens against your house. Sometimes landscapers are part of the HOA. So that's an awesome tool as well.
Amazing. It's really amazing. We've been working on it for a long time now, and it finally rolled out, and we're super excited. It's a great extension, even for you, just helping keeping the consumer informed.
Yeah.
And circling back, if they have questions, they'll refer to you or to their escrow officer.
Right.
So it's great.
So, and just so you guys know, as buyers, it's usually in your best interest to pick your title company. Because at least with these products, these are something that you would want to have in your control since you're the one purchasing the home. Sometimes the sellers would like to have their title company sell the home, but at the end of the day, you're the one who's purchasing the home, and you'll be sticking with that home after that seller is long gone. So picking the right title company for yourself is highly recommended, especially with programs like this. This is a new program to me that I didn't know about, so I'm glad that Natalie and Fidelity National Title is my preferred title company, because now I can have my buyers feel more secure knowing that they have this program that's going to be available to them after we've closed, and it continues on for the lifespan that they own the house.
Yes, and some people will have already registered for title lock through like Clark County Recorder. They'll still get enrolled in monitoring here because it does have that component where it scrubs the MLS. Okay. So you'll get asked what's the difference. It's the same thing. It just has an added bonus where we're scrubbing the MLS.
Gotcha. So now that we were talking about title, what is escrow in the simplest terms so everybody out there can understand what escrow is and how it's different?
Okay. So escrow basically is the hub for all the papers. We're the neutral third party. So we don't work for anybody in the transaction. We work for buyer and seller and all. Our goal is the same as yours, to get to the finish line. The escrow officer opens the transaction in our system, gets that prelim started, then goes through and orders any trash, sewer, HOA, any liens, any mortgages, solar, all of that. Often if you have a similar name or a same name like Joe Smith, Bill Barnes, anything like that, we're going to ask you for a statement of information. Okay. And what that means is we have ran a search and we found similar names to our party. So whether it's the buyer or the seller, if they have a common name, or if the name is spelt different ways, like a Z instead of an S or something along that line, and we find a similar lien that possibly could be our party, we need this form back to compare socials, birth dates. Maybe it's a child support lien. We need to know how old is this person? How many kids do they have? So it gets a little bit intrusive, but we have to know this so that we don't put that lien on that prelim. We want to eliminate it before that prelim goes out if possible. Yeah. Otherwise, the prelim's pretty dirty, and then we have to keep sending it back to title to get it cleaned up as we gather that information. So the statement of information goes out. As soon as we get that back, we need to get that back pretty quickly. Yet again, we're trying to get that prelim complete. So anything we send you, just know that time is of the essence. Try to get it back to us as soon as you can. We are still kicking that can down the road. We are getting the demands in, putting the numbers together, communicating with the lender, communicating with the realtors, checking on timelines. After we're at that due diligence mark, we're moving forward. Maybe the loan docs arrive, putting all the figures together, sending out the final numbers for approval to the agents, buyer and seller, letting the buyer know the amount needed for wire, confirming that they still have the wiring instructions that we sent encrypted in the beginning because we're trying to be secure and we don't want anybody to steal your accounting information. That would be tragic. So we are just very much just hands-on with all parties, moving it along. And once everybody signs again, we fund the loan if there's a loan to fund. We receive the cash if it's an all-cash transaction, record, and it's a wrap.
Well, and a lot of times too, as just so you guys know, if you have bought homes or have not bought a home before and you're a first time home buyer, it can come across very intrusive, very stressful.
Yes.
So communication is key, right?
100%.
And it is not necessarily that we as your agents or title reps want to get into your business, quote unquote. But we definitely don't want you to have a house or buy a house that has any kind of negative liens or reports on it, because that would be a lot worse than us being intrusive. So selecting your team, we're here to always help you and make sure that the house that you get is is something that you're going to have forever, and it will bring you joy and not heartache.
Yeah.
Coming to that topic now, we're going to talk about buyers and sellers and tips. So according to your industry, since we're different, right? Since I'm helping sell the house, you're doing title and escrow. What is one of the common mistakes that sellers make?
I think it's just going to really revert back to the last answer, just not getting stuff back to us in a timely manner, or withholding information. That water system that you had put in and you signed the UCC, making a little payment on it, $100, $200 every month, that has to be paid off. We have to know about that. We have to order a demand. If you did have any work done to the property that could result in a lien, we need to know if there's any work being done. Carpenters, landscapers, all of those have the right to file a material and mechanicsman lien against your property. And it's exactly that. It's for their labor and it's for the supplies. And if you didn't pay the bill, then it could result in a lien. So I would say just communicating, not withholding, and being a straight shooter, just giving it all to us, and we're going to order everything.
Yeah. How often do you see that you're not getting everything sent over to you? Does it happen a lot?
No, it's not super common with the initial opening of the transaction. Agents are awesome. They get us all the information. It's once that prelim comes back where we need additional information from the buyer or the seller. And I think we were talking about seller, so I'll stick to that. And it's just like, oh, you have a second mortgage, and they're not aware of it. Maybe when they took out a HELOC with their credit union, and they didn't need it right away, but they wanted to open the line for future need.
Yeah.
We still have to close that and reconvey that off the property.
Gotcha.
So they'll, it's just things like that where people will put a pool in and they don't see that as a second mortgage if they financed it. It's a second mortgage and it has to be paid.
Yeah.
It's staying with the property, so we have to pay the debt.
Right.
So, yeah, just making sure we know everything, settling all the debt. If it's in a trust, we need a copy of the trust right away. If there was a divorce between sellers, we need the divorce decree. We just need all the things. All the things.
Yeah, yeah.
Give it all to us.
You usually don't think about, because it's in a buyer's mind, or it does seem like it would be separate.
And they all think it's settled. Like, oh no, we're divorced.
Yeah.
And the property was an asset, so we have to address it.
Even if you're divorced.
Correct.
And everything is settled.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yes.
And so let's flip to the buyers. So what should first-time buyers know about title before they get to the closing table?
Understanding title is amazing. Like, they really do need to know why they're buying it and what it is protecting. I think 9 times out of 10, you just sign here, sign there, move along. You have to have this, check the box. Right. So understanding that title insurance is protecting their largest asset most of the time, and what that means, and if they need to file a claim, where do they go? Fidelity National Title has been in business for hundreds of years, and we are the largest title company closing across North America.
Oh,
so
that's good to know.
We close 52% of all transactions.
Yeah.
And we are recognized by Forbes magazine, Newsweek magazine. We're Fortune 300-ish. I think it was like 331 it came out.
Cool.
And so that's all exciting. And that is why I work at Fidelity, because I want to make sure we protect these people. And sellers, buyers, they don't always understand the process, like you mentioned.
Right.
First-time home buyers, most importantly, it's all so brand new.
So brand new.
Yes, and it's scary. It's very scary. But
it is.
Like I said, I was talking to a tenant friend. She's a tenant, and she was like, "I'm just scared of a mortgage. I don't really want to pay a mortgage." And I said, "Well, you pay a mortgage.
You do.
You just pay
you just pay somebody else's mortgage.
Correct. And
you do.
Yeah, she just wants that. She likes that. Here's my rent. Here's my rent. Here's my rent. And I said, it's the same thing with a mortgage. Just here's my mortgage. Here's my mortgage. And then you can paint the walls or knock them down or do whatever you want because you own it. So,
exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, first-time home buyers are my favorite because they're just, kind of deer in the headlight. Like I'm sure I will say online has helped a lot with giving them information. Sometimes not always the most accurate for Nevada.
Right.
Because, as you know, it changes along the way. And especially if you go back on the East Coast, it's an attorney state. Everything's handled differently. So I would say just make sure and reach out to a real estate advisor in the local market you're looking to buy or sell, because AI is amazing, online's amazing, but it may not be exact to where you're looking to purchase.
Yeah, and definitely for sure, anybody that's coming on and watching my podcast, just know that, every state is different. We all have our own rules on how we sell real estate. Like Nevada, you can use a realtor to purchase and sell homes. And on the East Coast, there's a lot of states on the East Coast where it's real estate attorneys are the ones who are doing, and realtors are not there.
Right.
So
pretty wild.
So just in the state of Nevada, we do use realtors, but just a little, everybody is getting their information from TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and it's just different everywhere. So definitely whatever state you're in, find out.
Right. And I think it's so important because we have so many people moving in every month. So, and most of them are from obviously another state. Some of them are moving within Nevada, but most of them are coming from another state, and things are just handled differently in every state.
Right. And and I know that we're the fastest growing city in the nation. Our economy is not really getting hit or pummeled as hard as other parts of the nation. And real estate is still really active here in Southern Nevada compared to other parts of the nation. We still have some growth going on. It's not super huge, but at least we're sitting at about 2 to 4% growth every year, which is good.
Right.
Especially with all the inflation going on. I think inflation is up by like 3 to 4%. So Nevada is definitely one of the places that's still growing. So if y'all want to move to Nevada, we are the people. We're the people.
And we have a few areas that are even increasing faster than that 4% national average. Certain pockets of Las Vegas are increasing at like 6 to 10%. So if you get in the certain hot pockets, the growth is there quickly.
Yeah. There's a lot of things happening here. I mean, we wouldn't be getting a new baseball team. I think we're getting a female hockey team. We're talking about a new basketball team.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot of growth that's happening in our city. So we're definitely not slowing down here in Las Vegas.
No.
So a little bit about you, Natalie.
Yes.
So I just wanted to know, and I'm sure people are wondering too, how did you get started in title?
This is a fun story.
How did title? I mean, did you, as a young girl, were you like, I'm gonna work in title in real estate? And how did you even find out what that was? And
that's a great question.
Why did you choose title?
Why did you sell title? It's not very sexy. I sell title insurance, but so funny. So my mom was obsessed with open houses. We drag around every weekend to all the open houses, and then we'd run home and she'd paint the kitchen pink or something like that.
Okay, cool.
So my mom always loved real estate, and she actually did become a realtor when she was 40, and that was her last career, and she retired from selling real estate, and she loved it. So when they moved here, when I was 18, they bought a home, and we closed at, this is ironic, Fidelity National Title.
Wow.
That's
cool.
So, and they were hiring for a receptionist, and my mom had told them that I was moving out here that summer. If they still had the position open.
Yeah.
So I came out. Actually, they had hired somebody that didn't work out for the position. I applied for it and I was hired. So I started as a receptionist.
Okay, at 18?
At 18.
Wow.
And
okay.
I loved it. I loved the industry. The loan officers would come in, the realtors would come in, the clients, everybody was happy. There were lots of handshaking. Buying a house is fun, right? And home ownership is amazing. And I always just loved that. So I also bought my first home at 18.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm grateful for my parents for really instilling in me that how important it is to own a home and build equity, and that's generational wealth. That's how they were able to, move up and move out and keep going and buy a nicer house and drag their equity with them. So I saw that and I loved it and I paid attention and I knew I was going to own a home. I didn't know I was going to be part of the industry as a little girl, but I did love real estate and started as a receptionist, became an escrow assistant, an escrow officer, and I was an escrow officer for 20 years. So I did all the behind the scenes, the closings and the paperwork and all that, which I loved. But you do get a little bit of paperwork burnout. So, and I'm more of a people person.
Yes.
And we have notaries now that do a lot of the closings, and there's a lot more demand from the escrow officer as far as production. Like you just have to really pump stuff out. Not a lot of personal interaction, more on the phone or email.
Right.
And I love the part of getting out in the field and, helping people and trying to help, your pain points and grow your business. So that's how I got started a long time ago.
Wow. That's so cool. You bought your first house at 18.
Yes. I also got married at 18. So I did a lot of things very young.
That's awesome. I don't want to say that's crazy.
Right.
I know the stats are saying right now in the United States that first-time home buyers are in their late 30s and early 40s now.
Yes, I heard that recently. That's mind-blowing,
which is
to me.
Crazy. I mean, honestly, okay, so I bought my first house when I was 27, not as young.
Okay, that's okay.
But still in my 20s. So, and obviously being people in real estate, I say the same. My daughter is 19 and she's going off to college, and she's talking about like, oh, I want to get a place to rent with my girlfriends and go to school. And she's been saving since she was 16 because I kind of forced her to half of her paycheck.
Yes, I love that.
So, I mean, I am trying to push her into buying before ever renting. Like I kind of want her to just stay with me in my house until she has enough money to actually go and rent or buy something. Right. And then she can rent out her rooms to her friends. So starting as a teenager, I know it doesn't seem like it's possible, but I just think that there may be a little bit lack of knowledge out there.
100%. I mean, all the programs they have, I sit in a lot of meetings and I hear about all of them, and like $20,000 gifts and down payment assistance and all the things. There's really no reason, if you aren't living with your parents, of course, and you are living on your own, there's no reason to not buy. You can get a home, starter home. Right. That's a lot of it is nobody really wants the starter home. They just want the next home, and you have to do it in that order unless you're just independently wealthy.
And that's true. I mean, everybody. So the castle on the hill, the beautiful modern $1 million luxury home that we all want. Most people who live on that hill did not start on that hill.
No, they started on the bottom.
They started in the valley.
Yep.
And then made their way up. So, and definitely starting in a smaller condo, townhome, whatever, will eventually get you there.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what's kind of happening to make everybody wait for so long. I don't know if it's us not putting out more information on how to do it.
A little bit on that. Like I have a daughter who's 22, and she lives in Georgia now, but her trying to branch out in this market, it seemed very overwhelming and very expensive.
Right.
But I will say I'm seeing a lot of great deals out there, and with these programs and the buy downs and all the things. Like, I think you're right. I think they just assume that they can't purchase. And if they would even do a buyer consult with an agent and just find out what is out there, because you'd probably be pretty blown away to find out some of
Right.
those deals out there.
Right. And in a lot of times too, I mean, I think our median rental price has gone down here in Vegas. We're about $1,750, $1,800. But I would say that a lot of people who already have established families are renting in the 20 mid, like 23, 24 to $3,000 they're renting homes because they've started in small apartments and are moving their way up to wanting to rent homes. But at that point, it's kind of at the point where if you're renting for that amount, you might as well buy.
Absolutely.
Because a $3,000 payment is pretty much our median price here.
Right.
Which is around $420, somewhere around there, maybe $3,100. So, but that's a lot of information that I feel like people don't know.
Yeah, they don't know, and they're afraid to ask because it's the unknown. You know, you don't want to.
Right.
But if you ask AI and then make a buyer consult, you'll have all your questions ready and you can go and have a consultation and find out what your options are.
Yeah.
I highly encourage it.
Or even asking the AI before you have your consult, because your AI is going to break it down the same way.
Absolutely.
A real estate agent would do it for you. I know a lot of times, folks talking to anybody, it doesn't have to be a real estate a realtor, talking to anybody in real estate makes them feel like, okay, these people are not going to stop calling me.
Yes.
They're not going to stop calling me, and now they're going to be on me to buy a house and blah, blah, blah. So I highly encourage you to talk to AI.
Absolutely.
If you're thinking about it, so that way you don't have to worry about the calls. And then once it seems like it's more doable, then call one of us and we'll really tell you what's happening.
Absolutely.
So another question about your personal career. What has helped you build long-term relationships with real estate professionals?
Ooh, good question. So I primarily work the southeast, southwest valley or area of the valley. And so I know a lot of people for a long time. We have great relationships. I love helping people. I like to answer my phone. I like to return the calls I missed. I don't wrap my day up until I've answered every email and text. Unless like last week I was out of town, so I apologize if I did. But yeah, so I just think it's building lasting relationships is continually showing up. If you show up and you deliver and you bring value, the relationship just grows.
100%. Not just in real estate.
In life in general.
Yeah.
In every relationship you have, you got to water it, you got to feed it, you got to love it, and it grows. So that's how I view, and a lot of my clients are my friends. I like to hang out with them, and
this is true.
So
like, this is true. This is true. Natalie is like always hanging out. So I love that. Funny story. I'm going to tell our story.
Okay,
now.
Tell it.
So before I started working with Natalie, I was with one of her sister companies for a couple years, 2 or 3 years. And Natalie, talking about building relationships, I would come into the Wednesday meetings at KW, and Natalie was always there. I wasn't sure if she was an agent. I wasn't sure if she was an escrow officer, or I wasn't really sure what her role was, but she was there all the time, always super friendly, always super nice. She would talk about Fidelity, and I'm pretty loyal when I pick my team. I'm pretty loyal unless something happens and then I have to pivot and get another team member. So coming down long story short, my title rep that I was with, my escrow officer that I was with, ended up disappearing and didn't tell me where they went. So I was kind of stuck without a title company, and Natalie always being there, and she had always said, "Oh, come and check out Fidelity. Fidelity is great." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I have my person. It's okay." But then when I was lost and had nowhere to go, Natalie was like, "Okay, you're going to come in.
I got you.
You're mine, come. And what do you know? The relationship has been much better. She is able to give me a lot of leads and connects that I was not able to get with my other title company. And maybe that was partially my fault because I didn't explore. I'm too much of a loyalist.
Right?
Maybe I need to stop doing that so much. But
no, don't. You're stuck with me.
it was the best thing to happen, even though I was a little heartbroken that I got broken up with, and
not even over text, huh?
It was just ghosted.
You got ghosted.
It was ghosted. It wasn't even like we need to break up. There was just no talk whatsoever, and I was like, okay, well, we were talking about communication. Communication is key.
Absolutely.
So when that happened, and then you were like, okay, I'll be your new girlfriend.
New bestie.
I'll say, okay. I'll say, okay. Yes, so Natalie is awesome. I recommend her and her team, and Terry Ann Peterson is my escrow officer, and she's
a love.
She is amazing too. Like on it.
Yeah, Terry Peterson, gosh, she is amazing. I think she's almost 40 years in the industry.
Amazing.
I'm sure there's not a transaction she hasn't seen, and she's just such a love, and she will just help anybody. I hear her on the phone, and when a client maybe can't open the email, or it's encrypted, something like, she's just like, oh, let me walk you through it. No, I'll wait. Okay, go ahead and log in. And she is amazing.
Very patient.
Shout out to Terry Peterson.
Yeah,
great.
Very patient, and then responds like that.
Oh, and Tish, her assistant's amazing too. We can't leave Tish out.
Yeah, she's just amazing. So all of you agents out there, future agents, you want the phone number? Please, I will give it to you.
Yes.
So, and now we're coming to my last segment, my favorite segment. Every podcast I like to touch on. I like to talk about women in leadership and women in entrepreneurship and success. So the question I have for you, Natalie, is what advice would you give a woman building a career in real estate, title, lending, or any business?
Okay, I love this. Absolutely. First and foremost, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Yes. I'm going to use my position as a sales rep, or even Carey's as a realtor. There are plenty of people that are doing it and doing it well. I would encourage you to find a mentor, whether it's somebody that you follow alongside them in just like a training aspect, or if you join a team, or whatever you're looking to do, but do not try to do it solo, and do not try to figure it all out, because once you hit the ground running and then you start going to the networking events, it's okay to not have all the answers.
Yeah.
It's more important to be in the room and not have all the answers than to just not go.
Right.
That's where you learn. You listen to conversations, you pick up things, and you just learn strategies. Systems are huge. You have to have systems working for you on the back end as far as your CRM, something along those lines. I have one. I know Carey has one.
Yeah.
It's a way to keep you organized and connected. So I love to say, run your schedule. Don't let your schedule run you. I'm very prompt. I'm very time blocked. I stay with my calendar. I highlight off as I go. Yes, I have a paper calendar. Dating myself a little bit.
No, that's awesome.
But I have a phone and a paper, and I tell you, there has been a time where you maybe couldn't, your phone's down, you lost your phone's out of service, whatever. I can still refer to my paper calendar, so that's just my probably OCD kicking in. But that's what I would say. Just find somebody that you admire, that you maybe want to mirror their work behavior, and run alongside them for a bit. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask lots of questions. There's no dumb question, because there's going to be questions every single day.
Yeah.
And I still have questions thrown at me that I'm kind of like, you know what, let me find the resource and get right back to you. Mm-hmm. So,
well, and I would say, as starting a business, I know I went through a couple of brokerages before I got to where I was at. So for me personally, and this should be everyone as well, like gatekeeping. If you're around people who gatekeep, it's probably not the place for you to be, because you're literally on your own. You're never going to learn, right? So, and there's enough meat and food out there
Right.
in the real estate industry, whether you're in Vegas or somewhere else, who you know is not going to be the same that other people know. So, I mean, just building your careers, and, being around people who are producing more than you could be really intimidating.
Yes.
But
so goal oriented, right?
Yes.
I mean,
it can be so intimidating, but there are people who are producing at a super high level that are willing to share with you. 100%. So I would say don't get too attached to any one group or brokerage. Like, really finding your tribe is really important as making sure that your business grows.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And as far as women go, I mean, I think most women are always trying to help each other get bigger. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Always find your tribe and grow your business. And, if one person doesn't work, like my previous, find another one.
Absolutely.
And find one that's going to help you grow, So, don't be flexible when making your business. Don't, it's not a 9 to 5.
No.
And you're not stuck.
No.
Always pivot. Always be ready to pivot.
I love that. Absolutely. I love when I go through your office and all the cubbies are all full and they're doing role playing and, lead generation and lots of things going on. And I even see agents, they're not on a team, they're solo, but they are maybe being coached by somebody internally or being mentored. And so such a huge point. Find your person, find your tribe, find your people, and you will grow faster than trying to do it all on your own.
100%. It's never fun being alone on an island.
No, and just think, everybody at the top, they all started where you did.
Yeah, so exactly.
You can be there too. So when you see that top producer, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in most cases, there may be top producers that are gatekeeping, but there's always one that's not.
Yeah, the gatekeepers, that's interesting. I love the sharing. I mean, if it worked for you, share it. You're going to deliver in a different personality with a different delivery, right, and it's going to work differently for both of us. But share.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when you're teaching, you're growing as well.
100%.
Absolutely. So, last question of this segment. What does success look to you now compared to earlier in your career when you were like 18?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I would say it did used to be about numbers and goals and, that was really it. I didn't really know exactly. But now I look at my goals a little bit differently. I want to know how many more relationships I'm going to create, not necessarily how many more clients I'm going to get.
Oh.
So I like to I like to work with people that I like. I mean, not everybody's a fit for me, and I'm not a fit for everybody. So if we mesh and vibe, and then I want to work with you, and I want to know you, I want to love you, trust you, I want to help you, I want you to grow, I grow, we grow. I do meet people that just are not a great fit for me, and I didn't earlier recognize that it's okay to say, hey, I may not be a great fit for you, but so-and-so on my team would be really good with you.
Yeah.
So I learned how to personality match a little bit better. And that's really what I am. I'm almost like a matchmaker because I had to find your perfect match with your escrow officer, which was Terry.
Yes.
So I needed to find somebody that was like, able to meet you where you were at and bring value. Yeah. And that I felt like, so that's what I like to say that I am. I'm a matchmaker. Yeah,
you are a matchmaker. So when you were younger, when you were new in the industry, how was that like? Now that you feel more confident and being the matchmaker, and before, when you say you were looking at more just kind of numbers compared to people, how was it when you were younger, and what happened to make that switch happen?
I think so. When I was younger, I would look at the people. I was also on the escrow side, so it's probably a little bit different. I just knew I wanted to be an escrow officer, and then I knew once I was going to be a top producer, and I needed to do that at a high level. And what did I need to do? So I made that happen. Today,
was it because being an escrow officer, you didn't have more of the, the connection with people? Is that because you
Yeah.
said the paper burnout?
Right.
Right?
I did. I got paper burnout. I had great relationships with all my real estate clients, and I did talk to them on the daily basis, but I no longer went into signings and helped. I'm a notary, but I didn't do any of the notaries. Somebody else did all that. That was taken away because there was a higher demand behind the desk. So I gave up a lot of personal contact. I still talk to a lot of people, but not belly to belly. Like, let's sit at the table and let's close the transaction. I loved that side of it.
Yeah.
So when I went out into the field, I really truly think I still had goals and numbers and all of that. I looked at it differently, and I came at that position with a lot more confidence.
Okay.
Because if you have an escrow issue and you can't get a hold of your escrow officer, you can call me and I can answer it.
Okay.
You know, if it's a Saturday and, you know, maybe Terry's at her grandson's soccer game, you can reach out to me.
Gotcha.
And I can help you. So I think it's confidence would be my number one. Like, after all of that, what I just said, I would say confidence helped me look at goals differently and set goals higher so that I could achieve them. I don't know that I ever would have been able to say I did the numbers that I did last month.
Well, yeah. So it's just the confidence is just growing.
Get on the bike, keep riding. Keep riding, you know, and keep growing and learning, and, you know, every year just
shifting.
Yeah, shifting, pivot. Yeah. I like the pivot.
The pivot. Earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're coming down to the end of our podcast. At the end of each podcast, I have 3 rapid fire questions that I have for my guests. So, first rapid fire question for you, Natalie. What is the best advice you ever received?
I think I actually already said it earlier, so I'll just repeat it. You run your schedule, or your schedule runs you, and time block. And that was from Coach Lisa. Shout out to Lisa Crown. I was one of her first students, and it was torture because we were inventing the wheel, if you will. We were doing all the homework together, but she's amazing. She gave me that great advice, and I ran with that time block. She's the reason I have a pencil calendar. So, and I still have one. That was 12 years ago. So.
Wow, she's the reason why you have a pencil calendar and a digital calendar.
She is, yeah, and a lot of other things. Can I say badass? Can I say that?
Yeah.
Okay, she's a total badass, and I love her for that.
Yeah,
so.
No censorship here.
Okay,
you can say badass.
Well, now you tell me. This could have gone real different.
Okay, rapid fire question number 2. What makes a great real estate partner?
So for me, it is one that also, if they're a full-time real estate agent. It's really hard to help a part-timer. I love helping them, and I will help them, but it's really hard to work around their other work schedule.
Gotcha.
So a great real estate agent does their homework. When we meet, there's always homework. I do my homework, you do your homework, we re-meet, and we both have things we have to do to get the job accomplished, right?
Right.
Whatever the task is, and as long as you just do your part, I do my part, and loyalty. I mean, you know, anytime you need me, I will be there. If in return we have a great working relationship and a loyalty partnership, then that's what. So totally. I think an agent like Carey makes a great partner, and absolutely,
build your tribe.
Build your tribe.
Totally. And last question, 1 word for your next chapter. What is 1 word that would describe you or 1 word for your next chapter? Okay.
That's interesting. So my last chapter was balance. As a mom, my kids were younger, a wife, all the things. You're balancing life and work and school and sports and activities and all that. Yeah. So my son's graduated. My daughter's graduated a few years ago and moved away. So I think my 1 word. Geez, I don't know if I know how to say 1 word. I feel secure.
That is a great word.
Yeah, I do feel very secure. I took the time to purchase a home very early. I took the time to do some investing, thanks to Fidelity. I mean, as well, they have great 401k and stock and all the things. So I feel like I finally, where you're in your 20s and 30s and you're looking at your 401k or your investments or your savings or whatever it is, and you're like, oh, I'm never going to get there. Yeah. I feel like I'm finally, I'm almost there. And so I think I feel secure.
I love that. Secure is a
Secure.
great word.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm getting there.
Oh,
Working on it.
Okay.
We're working on it. I've
Yes.
got big goals, so
Big goals. I like big goals.
it's gonna take some work, but we're gonna do it.
We got it.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah. So anyways, secure is, I'm not quite there yet, but that is definitely, I'm hoping I'm 50 this year, hopefully by 55,
Okay.
secure
Mm-hmm.
will be a word where it's like, okay, we're really close.
Right.
Like,
It's a great feeling.
We're really close.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And it all has to do with real estate.
Absolutely.
Like,
all of it has to do with real estate.
all of it.
Started off at 18 and
build it up. Yeah, my goal is I would like to have 10 rental properties. 55 would be great. 60, I'll give myself till 60. If I end up having between 5 and 10, I'll be okay. And then secure will be a good word.
And then you'll be secure because you'll have rental income coming in.
Right, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
So this is wrapping up podcast number 3 with Natalie Bradley. I appreciate you all coming and hanging out with us today and learning a little bit about title. If you have any questions, myself or Natalie, especially Natalie, will be here to answer any questions that you may have. If you're going through the process, thinking about the process, or just want to know anything about real estate, we're a good team to have, and definitely are not gatekeepers and would love to share our information with you. So thank you for coming and visiting Lux Home Living in Las Vegas with Carey and Natalie.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. So yes, reach out to us with questions.
Yeah. Fidelity title, yes. Phone number.
Fidelity National Title, Natalie Bradley, and my cell phone is 702-575-4837. You can also email me, my first and last name, natalie.bradley@fnf.com.
Yeah, and Carey Archer-Howell with Keller Williams Marketplace. We are the largest real estate company in the nation as well.
Love that.
So we have something in common. My phone number is 702-882-7762. You can find me at Lux Homes LV with Carey on Instagram. Same with TikTok, and my email is careyarcherhowell@gmail.com. Thanks for hanging out, guys. It was really nice sharing this hour with you. You guys take care.